Hey, hey. Welcome everybody to Miss Glow's Kitchen, where there's sugar, spice, and everything nice, where we slice, dice, and entice, using everything we can, from peppers to allspice. What's up, my people? Y'all know what time it is? See y'all in the kitchen.
A marbled key lime pound cake is on our menu today. Alright, here is what we need for this delightful pound cake. Flour, sugar, butter, eggs, baking powder, vanilla extract, key lime flavoring, butter flavoring. I'll tell you what you need for the glaze in a minute. Y'all know what I always say. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, so let's get to it. So by now, if you haven't hit that like button, hit that like, subscribe, hit that share, and that bell for notifications so you'll be one of the first ones to know when I put a new video up. Now I want to tell you in the beginning of this too that you want all of your cold ingredients, the butter, the milk, you want that to be room temperature. Alright? Put the butter and sugar into a mixing bowl, and what you're going to do is you're going to cream it. That's what we call creaming. Right? So now what we're going to get here is we're going to get a nice really light yellow color after this is mixed. Do not expect for the sugar to dissolve. It is not. So you will still be able to feel it, that the granules are still there. So you haven't done anything wrong if you're expecting that to dissolve, because it's not. Alright, so you're going to do this, and you're going to do this for about 2 to 3 minutes. Alright, so you want to make sure you're turning your bowl, you're turning that you're getting all of the butter and all of the sugar incorporated. Alright, so as yellow as your butter is, as soon as your mixture turns a really lighter yellow, I'm going to show it to you though. It's going to turn a lighter yellow, and it's going to look a little fluffier. And when it does that, that means that it's done, and we're going to move on to the next step. Alright, so watch this. Okay, so this is after 3 to 4 minutes. So take a look at the mixture. I'm going to hold it up here in a moment so you can see what it's supposed to look like. Got it? Alright, see, it's lighter. Looks nice and light and fluffy. Okay, so now we're going to add the eggs in. Now normally when you do cakes, you read where they say add 1 cake at a time. I'm telling you, I've been making cakes for a lot of years. It makes no difference if you put them in 1 at a time, 2 at a time, or all of them, just so long as you get it mixed up thoroughly. Don't leave any pieces of egg in your cake mixture. You see what I'm saying? So that's all. That's all that is. I'm not wrong. Somebody can argue with me, but I promise I've been making cakes for years. It makes no difference. I promise you it doesn't. But alright, just make sure you incorporate your eggs in there thoroughly. They are really mixed in there. And when they're really mixed in there, then we're moving on to even the next step. Alright, so here we go. Alright, obviously we don't have that overhead view today, so I'm going to pick it up and just show it to you. So after the eggs are in there, that's what you're looking at. So you're going to look at it. Almost the same color. It's going to turn a little dark yellow, but it's going to be a very smooth and creamy mixture now. No, the sugar will not dissolve by now. Don't worry about it. Keep going. Keep going. You're still going to come out with the perfect pound cake. So at this point, what I start doing is I'm going to start opening up all of the flavorings. Alright, because we're going to add in the milk and the flour as well. So in goes the butter here. Alright, sorry, I needed to fix that so you can get up close and see it. So in goes the butter. Alright, so I've listed the amounts in the beginning with the ingredients, but I will list it again in the description box down below. Vanilla extract. Yes, I put it in every cake, regardless of what flavor the cake is. I'm going to put vanilla extract in every single time. Alright. Alright, so here we go. So butter flavoring. Now that just gives it more. You know what? You taste the key lime, but the cake was buttery as well. It was so good though. I'm telling you. But if you don't have butter extract, don't worry about it. Leave it out. As long as you have the key lime and the vanilla extract, you're fine. Alright, so 7 tablespoons of this. Yep, of this brand. So I'm going to list down below. Hopefully I don't forget, but I'm going to tell you what brand. I did get it from Amazon, but I'm going to tell you what brand it is. It's not the L'Oreal brand this time. It's another one I use. So 7 tablespoons gave me the perfect flavor. So I'll go off that. Even though I did flavor the glaze too, but the glaze is coming up. Let's deal with the cake now. So we'll mix in these flavorings a little bit. And key lime is a lighter cake, so if you do want to use a lighter vanilla extract, you can. It makes no difference here, though. It's not gonna make any difference. All right, so we're gonna put this in threes. So we put a third of the flour in, then we'll put a third of the milk in. You get it? And then we'll put in the other third. And okay, so you're gonna end up doing this 3 times. Don't dump all of this in. So unlike the eggs, this is a little different. Don't dump all of this flour and milk in here. So do it in increments. So I normally do it in 3, but if you want to do it in 4, you can do it. So if you just want to make sure, you're putting in your flour, your milk, your flour, your milk. Again, this is something that's argued with people that make cakes, whether or not the liquid should go in last, or whether or not the flour and the baking powder should go in last. Again, I say I've been making cakes. It makes no difference which one goes in last. Just make sure your batter is mixed very well. All right, so in goes the second increment, the second batch of our flour. And we'll do the same thing, get it mixed up very, very well. And then we'll put the milk in. So don't hesitate, and make sure you scrape the side of your bowl. All right, so normally I have a mixture bowl that's has a little more height on it, but I wanted you to be able to see what I was doing, so I used a flatter mixing bowl this time. So I just got mixed flying on the countertop. Some flew on the curtains, but that's okay. I just wanted to do it so you could see, what I was doing, instead of me just saying and then doing it and then trying to show it. I like to see. Humans are visual creatures, and yes, I like to see too, so I know everybody else do too. All right, so see, our mixture is coming out nice. All right, really nice. All right, I forgot to preheat the oven. Make sure you preheat your oven to 350 degrees for this one. All right, and do remember that if you have a dark pan that you're using, that your cake is going to come out a little darker. So the lighter your pan is, then the lighter the outside of your cake will be. And that's just a rule of thumb, but it is true. It is very, very true. So if your cake does come out looking a little bit darker, be cognizant of the fact that it will depend on the color of the pan that you're actually baking it in. All right, last of the flour. And then we'll go last of the milk. Now, during this time, I started this cake, like honestly, seriously, I started this cake, and then I actually got so far as to put the batter in the pan. If you'll notice on the video, I put the batter in the pan, and then I decided, boom, I'm going to try to marble this. And that is the reason why I did not off the top take the batter and put it to the side. Once I was done with this, take the batter and put it off to the side, that I was going to color a little bit darker. However, I'm going to tell you that with that marbling too, is you can do that green as dark as you wanted to. I was looking for a lighter color to the cake, and then a lighter color to the marbling, but darker than the cake. But I didn't want it really, really dark green. So it's really up to you when you put your coloring in, how dark you want to make yours. Because that could be really beautiful. Really dark green with that light could be really, really beautiful. Okay? All right. I poured a little too much milk. So the measurement that you see on the screen, that is the correct measurement. I poured too much into my measuring cup, so that's why I didn't use all of it. All right. And pound cake batter is normally a very thick cake batter. And you want it to be thick and dense because it's a rather dense cake. It's so good though, but it's a rather dense cake, so you want to make sure that you don't make your batter too thin. All right, so check that out. So you see how creamy and smooth the batter is, right? Yep. All right, so we're gonna mix this up the rest of the way, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold in the color. And the reason why I want to fold in the color, we don't want to beat this cake too much. So once we're done right here, we've got no use for the mixer anymore. because we're going to take a rubber spatula and do the mixing in. So just hang on one second. All right, so when we get to this part, I already put 3 drops of green food coloring. So you can see I'm folding. I'm going to move this mixer, this hand mixer, in a moment. But I'm folding it in. I'm going to put more. But hang on one second, and then I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. All right, out of the way. Thank you. All right, so you see it's not green enough. It's not as green as I want it. So you're going to do this until you get this cake as green as you want it. So you can do it a darker green. You most certainly can. All right, so there we go. With the folding, come from the bottom, fold it onto the top. All right, and you're going to get your coloring mixed in there. So you're going to get it mixed in really well. So this is the part of the batter that's going to be lighter, obviously. It's going to be. And if you want to already take your batter out, you can. You take about a cup of it out of here, and you put it off to the side. Then you can turn that cup of it darker. So, but I didn't do it that way because while I'm baking the cake, I'm deciding, do I want to do just a regular plain old key lime pound cake, or do I just want to put like a little something to it? And so I'm mixing here, but I'm just deciding, and it's like, let me do something a little different. So, okay, so we're going to get our pan, and we're going to get some Baker's Joy. So hang on one second. If you want to use flour and shortening, or flour and butter or margarine for your pan, you can do that. That will work. This Baker's Joy out of the can, trust me, it saves a lot of trouble, and your cake comes right out, but I'll show you that later too. All right, so generously spray on here, or butter and flour, whichever one you're going to do. Don't forget the middle part of it. Don't forget, because sometimes your cake can stick to that part of it and you don't want it to. So don't forget to make sure that you spray, or that you grease and flour that part of the pan too. Okay? All right, so now I'm getting a spoon because I'm going to put it in. I just don't want to go all the way around. So I'm going to put spoons full of it, big as I can. All right, so just go around. All right, now, so I will tell you. All right, so I'm going to move in slow motion because I want to tell you that at this point, when you get that first layer of it right there, this is where you would normally color whatever color you're going to do darker, and then you would put it, dot it, like big dots of it, into this next layer, and then you would cover it with more batter. And that's when you take your knife and go through. But I put my cake batter in here literally almost before I thought that I wanted to marble it, so I figured out a way to marble it anyway. But I'm telling you right here, the correct way to do it would have been to stop at that first layer. And then you mix up like a cup of it with the darker green, and then you put dollops of it in there. Don't just put a whole layer of it, but you put dollops there, really big ones, and then you put the rest of this on there. And then you take your knife and you swirl your knife through, and you're going to get the most beautiful marbling. Trust me when I tell you that. So, all right, we're going to go on to the way I did it right now. All right, so at this point, I'll put 2 to 3 drops of the green in there, and this is the point where you will decide how dark you want yours. And however dark you want yours, that's how much you're going to put in there. 2, 3, 4, 5 drops, so you can turn it as green as you like. Your kitchen, your rules, the sky's the limit with this. All right, so we're going to come right back, and I'm going to show you my method of doing this, marbling this cake after I decided I wanted to do it. All right, a little late in the game, but we can still do it. Watch. All right, so 2 things. I'm going to use this big spoon, and then I got a tablespoon. So I'm going to push my batter over. Watch this. Push my batter over. I'm going to take that darker green batter, which is not that much dark green, that much darker, but so I'm going to take it and I'm going to cover it with the batter that's in the pan already. All right, so I'm going to do it again. I'm going to push this over. So hold the pan. I'm going to push that batter over as much as I can. I'm going to take that batter and put a nice, huge tablespoon of it right there. And again, I'm going to push some of this, the regular batter, over it. Okay. All right, again. Same thing. Well, alright, drop some. It's a marble cake, so it makes no difference. It is so good, though. Alright, here we go. Yeah. Clean it off as much as I can. Alright, so again, we want to take the regular batter and we want to cover up the darker color batter with that. So this is the second method. Yes, it's a little messier. It's a little more difficult, but that's only because I decided. So that's why early on I've told you how to do it and do it in a little easier manner. You know what I'm saying? So, alright, so I'm going to shake it like this, and I'm going to hit it like 4 times on the countertop. And the reason why I do that, I don't want any holes in my cake if I can help it. Alright, so here I will take a knife and I will nicely go around and just swirl to my heart's content. I don't want to swirl so much though that I mix this batter up too much. So see, I swirl a couple times and that is it. Alright, you shake it. Again, you hit it on a hard surface. Don't break anything, but hit it on a hard surface like 4 times. Alright, so after about an hour in the oven, alright, that's what it looks like. It's nice golden brown. I'm going to put a plate on top of it. So I let it cool for like 10 minutes already in the pan. 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to put a plate on top of it, flip it over. Bam! See? Comes right out. So I told you, I love that Baker's Joy. Alright, it comes right out. So what we looking for? I'll list the directions and the amounts in the description box down below. But here's what you need. Powdered sugar, the key lime flavoring. You need some food coloring and milk. You cannot go wrong with icing. So it's better to put a little in and keep putting a little bit in at a time than to just put a large amount of liquid into that sugar. So if you want a really, really thick icing, obviously you're going to put less liquid in here. And if you want a thinner icing, almost like a glaze, then you're going to put more liquid. All right? So here, put a couple drops of food coloring. All right? Put a tablespoon of that key lime flavoring. Alright. I'm going to stir that just a little bit, but of course, you know, it's still powdery. So I'm going to put 1, 2. It's going to take about 3, I think 3 tablespoons. So start mixing this. Don't panic if the sugar isn't mixing all the way in at first. Just keep mixing. And then when you see that you can't mix anymore, then you put some more liquid. So that's how you're going to keep it thick. So you see how that is? Alright, you want to make it too thin, so. Alright, so 1 more tablespoon in there. I started to put 2, but then I thought, I'm like, let me just put 1, and then if I have to put some more, I will. So see, if I had put another one in, it would have been too thin, so it would have been almost like glaze, and I didn't want that. I wanted a sort of thicker icing with a little color to it. So now I'm just whipping all the lumps of sugar out of there, and when the lumps of sugar are out, your glaze is ready to pour. Your icing, I'm sorry, is ready to pour over the cake. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right. Check that out. That's beautiful. I like the color. All right. So I'm going to come around twice. All right. So as many times as this will allow me to come around, but it smells so good. Like that key lime is so prominent. It smells wonderful. All right, so now our cake is done. All right, so I'm showing you 2 pictures here. The first one, this one, is just to show you the texture of the cake. All right, and that's it. After I have it on a cake plate, that is it. That is our masterpiece, a key lime marbled pound cake. Thanks for watching, everybody. Y'all better go make this. See y'all next time. For more great recipes, tips, and ideas, check out some of my other videos.